guys, welcome to Sopi Studio Umbiamas, conectando Aruba com o mundo via vídeo podcasting. Conectar conosco, compartilhar ideias e histórias para nos inspirar e para nos abrir. Sopi Studio é plataforma de podcast na Aruba. Follow-nos no Facebook, subscribe no YouTube ou na plataforma de podcast preferida. Escute o podcast preferido que hora e onde está. Sopi Studio, powered by Qredits. Botiu ideia? Qredits educa e prepara abo para vir um empresário exitoso. De business plan, guia personal e préstamo para negócio até com 100,000 forinhos. Vira bom mês donho com Qredits. Sopway. Passa na Sopway para o sop, salada, wrap ou flatbread e mais fresco. Com 7 localidades rond Aruba. Nós está cerca de Ibo. Sopway. SwingMasterz. Organizando events, conferences of weddings. Mister de luz, sound, staging, DJ, trussing of flat screen. SwingMasterz está claro para ser boa fiesta éxito. SwingMasterz. E agora, Sopi Studio é plataforma de podcast de Aruba, está apresentando
PillowTalk, powered by SuccessBlizz. There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Yonilove, seduced from within. Matiz, enhancing your brand.
Buenas, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome na PillowTalk na Sopi Studio. Conta by kubosa ng awe noche. Good evening.
Good evening, Melody.
Come by gorgeous. Awe nos ting nos ting Ariana. Ela drente, she's looking like Wednesday from the Addams Family. Hola Chuchi, desde Nueva York, come by contigo.
Buon noche, contento di te Kinang. Ma wa Ariana mi ha visto takienta e check novo, non ha visto ni nada.
Always a new look.
Sí, ela cambia look awe. Brian, Mita, hand it over to you just to mention our sponsors before we start our evening.
Ok, mi quero agradecer tu sponsor na de Sopi por the Qredits e SwingMasterz. Também me quero agradecer sponsor na de PillowTalk, com a SuccessBlizz, Yonilove e Matiz. Hope danke para esse show aqui possível.
Yes, nice, like a trooper. Well, a noche nos tiene un tópico hope interesante. Si man pasa nossa papia. Oh, by the way, we gotta switch it up to English. Ay, se me olvida.
I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, we was not supposed to talk in English, and I was like, okay, let her be.
It's the intro. I apologize. It's a habit to automatically switch over to Pavimento. But last week we talked. Our topic was Ask the Sexinistas, and we asked you, ladies and gentlemen, to send us in questions, and we got a lot of questions, and we weren't able to answer all of them. So we decided to do a second session or second episode of Ask the Sexinistas, so that we can answer all of those amazing questions. Thank you so much for sending them over, and we're really excited to answer them, and we're looking forward to see what you came up with. Brian, do you want to start off with the first question for tonight?
Yeah, so the first question is, Will Smith? No, I'm joking.
No, we're not talking about that anymore.
Nope. No, last week was my fault that we didn't finish, but I was too excited with the news about Will Smith that we spent like 20 minutes talking only about Will Smith. Okay, so the so the question is, Will Smith? No, I'm joking again.
Can we turn him off?
Okay, so the first question is, I gotta say it in Spanish. We got this question in Spanish. You help me translate it.
Of course.
¿Se puede extrañar el sexo de tu expareja?
Can you miss your ex's sex? Of course you can.
Yeah.
You can miss a partner back in the day as well, right? I mean,
yeah. It's okay to do it. It's absolutely okay to do it.
It's even okay to fantasize when you're masturbating about your ex, or that teacher in class that you thought was so yummy, or the guy who was packing your groceries, or the one that you saw walking down the beach in his short shorts with his just like right under the, the V. Oh my gosh. I can go on and on. I can go on and on. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
It's okay to fantasize about the people that are not there. It actually makes sex a lot more interesting and fun. Specifically when you're doing self-pleasure and sometimes reality fact, you can be with your partner and going all out and actually not be thinking about that person. It makes sex a little more fun. It's like having sex with your partner, but with somebody else at the same time.
Yeah.
That's my two
The
cents.
only thing that I want to add is that it becomes a problem when you keep thinking a lot about your ex and it doesn't allow you to continue with new relationships.
Yep.
Then it becomes a problem.
Yep.
So, or you keep comparing your sex with your ex with all the new relationships.
I know,
then it's
please.
a big issue.
Yeah.
So there's some people that will think like, oh, my ex do it this way and the new one doesn't do it. Then it's a problem. But fantasizing with your ex is not a problem.
No.
No.
It's
Or
healthy.
missing your ex.
Yeah, it's healthy. And of course, when you just get out of a relationship, that's always going to happen. If it was good or bad, you're always going to miss what you had until you knock into somebody new. And then you start getting used to that person, feeling more comfortable, and then you let it go. And sometimes, yeah, you will think about that ex that was so good at this or that was so great at that. Or there's certain traits that you pick up. A wise person once told me, every person you meet in your life, you take their good traits and then you form that person you want in front of you. So when you meet the person that is the one for you, you've already crossed off the list everything that you didn't want and did want. So you've already been through, not that you have to go through a million people in that sense, but you meet the people good and bad and you take out what's important for you and you move on.
Yeah. And I think not all relationships end on bad terms. There are some relationships that they, I don't know, from many reasons they may come to an end.
Sometimes you're not as great lovers anymore, but you're better friends.
Yeah. And yet the sex was amazing.
Yes.
So
You can be sexually compatible, but nothing else.
yeah.
It happened to me. It happened to me many times.
Many times. I love how you say that. It happened to me many times.
Many. I'm very good in bed, but in relationships sometimes I'm not so good. So yeah.
It's a lot of work, man. Definitely a lot of work.
Yep.
All right, let's look at excuse me. Let's look at question number 2.
Question number 2. Okay. Remember, I don't know what is coming next because
We
I didn't see the
pounded
question.
Brian. Brian, tell us a question so we can prepare. Nope.
Nada.
So nobody knows.
Okay, so this is empapamiento. Okay, I can translate it to English. Anal sex is dangerous is the question.
Huh. Well,
I would say anal sex without lubricant can be very
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
and then it can be dangerous because you can injure yourself.
Yes, you can.
So
And maybe dangerous would be the question as to you have people who do anal sex and then they take the penis and they put it in the vagina and they put it in your mouth.
yes.
If you're not clean, you could get a situation that'd be uncomfortable. You could create infection, or you could pass on a bacteria. So in that sense, it could be dangerous. It's always wise to make sure that you're clean. Either you do how do you call that? The little, I don't know how you call that machine. The douche? No, but there's a name for it.
Yeah.
Brian, please help me. What's the name of that thing? The little
About
the bowl.
no, how do you call
the
it?
enema?
Yes, the enema.
Enema.
Thank you.
Oh.
Enema. Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Ask me about it. I know a lot about it.
That's why I asked you.
Old days, I used to use a bottle of water.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that one, but that's smart.
That's just a tip, and in case of emergency, it's not recommended because the border of the bottle of water can be a little bit sharpy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that you use it, you put it there, and then you press
Spray,
it, and the
yeah.
water got in.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Just like for the ladies, we get those douche sets you can purchase. Well, they're not always the best thing to do because there's a lot of chemicals in them. But the shape of it with the nozzle is also something similar that helps. As much as you douche, you clean the insides. You can do for your anus, you can do the same. It's important to be clean. But the reality is you can always have some dirt somehow come out. It can happen.
And that's why
Shit can happen.
Shit happens.
Shit happens, literally. But that's why it's important every time if you decide to do anal sex and then you want to go back to have a vaginal intercourse, you should shower, clean it
Shower, at least wipe up. You know, we
Yeah,
have
because-
the wipes that you can use that are organic
Yeah.
and that are safe. You can use those as well. But there are cases, I mean, if you're clean in that sense, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, I was watching porn recently and the girl was with 2 guys and she was getting it left and right, up and down all corners. Like, I was like, damn, girl. She's like super active. Like, it was like scary, actually. It was like a little too intense, you know? It's like, it looks fun, but it was a little too much. But they stick that penis everywhere, in her mouth, in her butt, in her vagina, in and out. If they could have stick it in their ears, they would have done that too. Whew, it was quite a show. But in that case, you see that they use the condom, but you didn't see them filming. But I am assuming that they would either change them or not. But if you do the enema, you clean your anus. A lot of times I've heard the actresses, they say they don't eat all day so they don't have any accidents. That's not suggested, but
no. Don't do it. Still, you will have to do the whole procedure. For me, I always say that the anal sex, for me, is a ritual. So to get ready for it and prepare for it.
It's not just shove it in and done. That doesn't work that way. Nope.
That's why I hate so much gay porn, because gay porn is like magically like the guy for the first time he gonna do it. He's a straight guy that's gonna do it for the first time, and he apparently is so clean that never. I'm like, no. Oh God, that's a miracle if you are like that. Like,
so not true. But then going back to the question, if it's dangerous, it can be dangerous if you don't do like what Brian just said, the ritual. You take the time, you need to build it up. Remember, your anus has 2 rings, and it's the second ring which is more painful than the first, and you have to soften it out because it's an exit only area. So when you're putting something in, it automatically reacts counter. So it'll tighten up. You need to relax that muscle. You need to be relaxed mentally. You need to be prepared for it. So it is definitely a whole ritual. And once it's inserted completely, don't think you can just ram it in there and it's good to go. You got to give it a chance to adjust so that the muscles adjust to the sizing, that there's something there. And once you're all comfortable, good to go. Yep. Okay.
Next question. Okay, this is in Spanish. ¿Cómo le digo a mi pareja lo que quiero en la cama?
How do I tell my partner in bed what I want? Okay.
You know, it's funny to me to translate because in my mind I understand it already, so it's hard to say like I know what I mean, but I don't know how to say it.
Makes sense. That happens when you speak more than one language and you have one mother language and then you have to translate to the third one. Yeah, it makes sense. So how do I tell my partner what I want in bed? I'm actually reading a book right now about sexy talk and how to talk to your partner. If you're not used to sexy talk, just trying to figure out how you can communicate that in a better way. Women in general find it difficult to talk sexy. They feel shame for one reason. Yeah, and
really,
in general, they feel shame, or they're like penis and vagina or pussy and that stuff. Like, oh, I don't say that. Oh my gosh, you're like, I just got nervous about it. A lot of women, because they've been shamed about it, they don't talk about it normally. We've talked about it before that at a young age you need to start already naming the genitals correctly. I mean, we can't always call our vagina cookie or a tuki or whatever people give it a name, or people, whatever they call it, because the reality is if there is something in a courthouse and you have to talk about the genitals, you need to name them the way they are. So when we go to talking to your partner in bed, if you don't feel comfortable telling your partner what you want, I would start with the small things. You know, like you look pretty, or I feel sexy, or, you know, I like this, or I like it when you touch me here or kiss me there. Start with the small things and gradually build up. Or do not do it in bed. Sit down at the dinner table, open a bottle of wine, and just have an open conversation. Hey, let's talk about sex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about experiences. Let's talk about what I like, I don't like, and get used to and comfortable to talking to your partner. Now, I say that very easy, but it isn't easy for everybody. Let's be real about it. I mean, if we have a hot little kitten like Brian, he doesn't have a problem with it. But not everybody is like that. Some people it's difficult to talk about their needs and their wants and their desires. So how do you put that on the table? I would start with the small things. I like it when you kiss me. I like it when you call me. I like it when you send me that message. I love seeing you smile. I love how your touch makes my skin rise. Those small little things you start with and you gradually build up.
Yeah. I would say the first step, I agree with you, but in the sense that if you are not comfortable, because asking that question already maybe is a sense that there is something that you and your partner are yet not comfortable to getting at. So maybe for me it works the second way. Just sit down and have the talk, because sex sex has to be clear. The intention has to be clear. And if you want to have a good sexual communication, I would say you have to sexually communicate what you want. So taking that part maybe to being more open on giving each other compliments, and that sense is a way to ease in. But for me personally, I think it's go ahead and say what you want, but in a very nice way, so that make your message receivable for your partner to actually understand why it is that you feel like sharing what you're sharing. And I think it also has to do on maybe how much you actually spend your own personal time on what you actually like, because maybe it is also a sense that you yet don't really know what you like and you don't know how to communicate it. So I think that's also
a very important thing. Yeah. Before you can talk to your partner, you need to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you want, how can you share it? Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So
yeah, good point. Good.
Okay, so I want to bring a story. Today I bring the stories. So actually, this reminds me of a couple that I was helping, and the girl told me that she was dating this guy, and all about sex was like a joke. They used to do jokes about it, but not taking it serious, doing bullying and doing jokes about it, and every time that it was like in the sexual part, it was a joke, because they built this relationship as a friendship before then a relationship. But then when this person wanted to change to a really relationship and to be sexual with this guy, for her was hard. So what she did is actually, I told her that she needed to have that conversation, talk about it, because if she tried during the sexual part that it is already not working, it's better to be outside of that area and bring to the attention things that are not working.
Very true.
So it's not in the moment are having sex, but before of having sex, talk about it, bring it in front. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I for example, if you don't feel even comfortable saying that that's what you like or you want, you can just do a story and say like, hey, I read on the internet that this can help for the relationship, or my friend told me about this guy, and try to bring the idea to the table and see where you can go through.
Or you can keep it even closer to home and play a game like Truth or Dare. You know, I dare you, like, reveal something intimate about yourself to your partner that you would normally not share with them, and then try and break the ice that way. Because maybe as uncomfortable as you're feeling, they're feeling as well. So if you start off, then maybe you can start that flow. And take your time, and do not be upset if you get nothing back. It takes time. Not everybody is as open and as free as you may want or hope.
And I think it's more about enjoying the process, on easing in and getting to know each other, not hoping for a happy ending, but having a happy process.
Yep,
I think that's very.
I agree.
Very
I agree.
important.
Nice question. Thank you very much. Next, what's the question? It's like he's reading.
Okay. Yeah, I'm reading, but I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, go ahead, shoot it.
E M&M verde tá afrodisíaco?
The green M&M is an aphrodisiac?
Yeah.
What?
I don't get it.
M&M.
Why?
So I don't know if this person is talking about the actual chocolate green M&M.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or if there's something
He said
else.
M&M.
So then most probably,
I don't know.
if it's an aphrodisiac. I'm going to look that up. I don't have an answer to that question.
No.
Chocolate in general is seen as a type of aphrodisiac. There are different food items that are seen as aphrodisiacs, like oysters is something they talk about. Shrimps, they say as well. Seafood in general. Avocados. What are the other fruits? You have grapes that they use. Chocolate is strawberries, honey. So there's a lot of food items you can use as aphrodisiacs, not necessarily that they enlighten or heighten you, but the whole act with it. So like if you're feeding your partner the grapes, and then you have the honey, you drip it over their body. So those are the lighting the match, I can say.
I would say milk chocolate is not an aphrodisiac. Dairy is not an aphrodisiac.
No, it can
So-
actually make you fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be embarrassing.
Cacao is an
I-
aphrodisiac.
I was not. I just see this question and I was like, okay, why? That's the problem about not reading the question before getting it. But yeah, here we have. It's not. It's not a thing.
No, it's not.
All right, let's go to the
Okay.
next one. Thank you for that question.
Yes. Still, we appreciate your question. Okay. Next question. It says, mi pareja te gusta watch porn mientras no estás así. ¿Está normal?
I don't know if you can call that. So my partner likes to watch porn while we're being intimate. Is that normal? Well, I don't know if you can put it in the category of normal or not normal. I think it depends on how much porn they need to watch. My personal opinion is if you need porn to get off, then you may have an issue because porn is not reality. If you can't focus on your partner and yourself, then you need to dig in deeper. So that's my 2 cents on it. But some people get excited by watching porn together, and then they get the fire lit, and then they continue. But if you really, I want to say this nicely. If you need to watch porn so you can have sex with your partner, I think you have a problem. I think so.
Yeah.
The music stopped
right there.
it was like damn. No, but
Silent moment.
yeah, I do. I personally think. I mean, listen, I'm not a doctor. I do a lot of research and I know a lot of topics and terms. But I personally don't think that if you need sex or if you need porn to have sex, then you're not enjoying it. Actually, you actually don't get the point of the whole thing.
Actually, my advice to this person is actually not to the partner, but to her or him. I don't know. It says my partner, so I'm not sure if it's a girl or a guy, but or a them if it's not binary. But the point is that if you didn't spoke with your partner yet, it's moment to start talking about this and start saying like, hey, I'm not feeling any more comfortable. That maybe we started doing it watching porn, and now the only thing that you're doing is only with porn. If you're asking this, is because you're not comfortable with this anymore. It's becoming an issue. So then we have an issue over there. So first, she have to check like, hey, what is going on? Talk to your partner. Like, why if the partner is just watching and having fun with her, it's fine. But if the partner is 100% concentrated in what's on the TV or computer or whatever they use,
like really,
like he could be busy and he was watching and
No,
like
sorry.
not paying attention.
no, it's like okay, I gotta go now.
No, for me, it's like, okay, if you agreed maybe at first, because I think everybody in the part of exploring our sexual desires, we come up with different types of things we experience, right? So maybe at the beginning, let's just put on some porn, get the mood kicking, you know, and then maybe halfway you realize that's not your thing, but it is his thing, or maybe it's her thing and it's not your thing. And you have to communicate it, because it can be a turn off for you asking that question if it's normal, because maybe it's happening already on a more frequent basis, that he's putting porn to get the vibe kicking, right?
I'm sorry. That's
life.
In between there was
we're live.
We're live, people. We're live. Things happen.
Yeah.
No, but I do agree with you, Ariana. It goes back to the other question as to having the conversation with your partner. Did you sit down and have that talk? Did you? And I would suggest take it out of the bedroom. Go somewhere and sit down and have an honest conversation. Like, what are my likes and what are my dislikes? And for you, what turns you on, what doesn't? And if he says that I can only have sex with porn, then maybe we have to have another conversation. You know, why is that? So there's usually trauma or something behind it, and you need to dig in deeper. Do you want to do that is the question. Did you have an agreement when you started off that was okay? Yeah. If you're at the point now and you've never had that conversation, then it's time to have that conversation and figure out, you know, like, okay, so what is it about? Because you never know. There's always a story and a reason behind it. But if you don't ask, you don't find out.
Yep, true.
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Good.
Next question.
Next question.
I'm really surprised with the size of the next question. So let me read it. So he estado saliendo con este chico por bastante tiempo. Tenemos buena química, pero en la cama no hay nada de pasión.
Ouch.
I have been dating this guy for a long time. But once we get into
Intimate?
sex,
Yeah, it's not.
there's no
passion.
And the question is,
What do I do?
Well, yeah.
So I would say, hit me on a DM and come in for a discovery session and let's have a conversation. Because then we gotta talk a little bit more. There's not an answer to that question, honestly. If I'm black and white,
there's many answers.
yes. But in this
Yes,
case,
because
I need to know
we
the
need
person.
more-
Yes.
We need more content. We need
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
like what is going on. Like it can be many things. One of the things is that maybe they didn't found how to connect sexually. There's even we was talking in one of the podcasts that there's 5 erotic blueprints. So each
Yeah.
person have a different side of sex. So
yeah,
it depends. I have been in a relationship where my style of having sex is different to the other one, and we don't connect till we finally find the way to finally like fit and enjoy sex together.
And to your point, you finally find a way to fit, but there can also be that you're not compatible.
yeah,
You can have great química, as they say. Your chemistry is amazing outside of the bedroom, but in the bedroom it doesn't work, or vice versa. Sometimes that happens. They can be fire in the bedroom, and then when you go out to the movies, like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this person? Why
Yeah.
did I speak? Don't speak.
yeah.
You know, so it depends, and then it's a question as to, do you want to invest the time to get to know the person, to figure out how you can match? Do you want to go into the blueprints and figure out, how you can make it work? It all depends on what your goals are in that relationship.
Yeah.
Is it just a swing, fun, great, or is it something you want to invest time and grow and move forward with?
Yeah, I think before making a sexual connection, because you can be very intimate not having sex, and if you've never sexually communicated what you want, and yet when you go in bed you've assumed or fantasized something, and yet you never meet ends with each other because you never communicated what you really wanted. So maybe it's the communication that there's missing.
Yep.
And maybe you don't know how to sexually communicate. That's what we were having a while ago. If you don't know how to sexually communicate with your partner, it can be the first blockage of
Yep.
not letting you have pleasure.
And then let's take it a little further. If you don't sexually communicate with yourself, how are you going to communicate with another person?
Yeah.
If you're not in tune with your body, what you like or dislike, listen, I am not a fan of one-night stands. I don't really get the point of it, because for me, sex in general has a whole different understanding, communication. But some people really enjoy it. They love that little moment of rush. Like, okay, good, I'm good, and I move on. For me, it doesn't do much. I like that build up and that fire, that tension that you have that grows, and it's like a balloon that just gets bigger and bigger, that's so tense, and then it just pops. That's in a nutshell for me. But if you don't have passion and you invest the time to try and find a passion, do also realize that there possibly is no passion. Yeah. So then, maybe it's a decision you need to make as to, do I want to continue in this path, or do I want to take another path? Yeah. But I would strongly suggest, if this is somebody you like and you want to continue connecting with, reach out. We can help you out.
Or maybe if you've had sex already and it wasn't that well, maybe you're missing a toy. Maybe it's time to spice it up a bit. So you can also contact us for that. So
much fun. See, so many answers to that question. Yeah. We still have more. I mean, you can sit and masturbate and have him watch you and see if that turns him on. I mean, endless. All right, Brian, next question.
Okay, next question. This is empapiamento. Mi humber tá bem roupilige. Kiko mi pohasi pa e dura mas.
All right, Brian, I'm going to give you the pleasure to answer that question.
Okay, so let me get comfortable.
Yes.
So
take notes, people, take notes.
Okay, so in English is I want my man
to last longer. Yeah, he comes too
last
quick.
Longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, my best recommendation: the men have to learn semen retention. Why? Because semen retention is learning to not concentrate in the ejaculation and just to get right away to the orgasm. It's about a full body orgasm experience. So then the man, he will learn to hold it more and be longer and enjoy more his time with his partner. That's one. But for the one that doesn't have a semen retention or didn't or is not able to practice it, the first recommendation that I give is the cock ring. This will hold the man harder for longer.
Can you explain what a cock ring is for those that have never heard of it?
Yes, I think I have it here around. Just 1 second, I think.
Okay, so while he looks for it, a cock ring actually is something you put around the penis and or so the shaft as well as the balls depends, because they can be very stretchable. And remember, a penis loses its erection because the blood flow comes and goes. It can be a split second. So the cock ring helps to keep the blood there longer so that the penis stays harder for a longer time, so then you can extend your lovemaking session. Another option is also to take a break and slow down. Don't go too fast.
I would like to add on because the question was the lady was asking what she can do.
Exactly. So yeah, go ahead.
Brian shared the part of what the men should be practicing as well. But for the ladies, I think it's very important when you are sexually exchanging that energy, that you have to consider where your partner is at as well. If you are not in alignment together in the building of the orgasm, you can make him come before you. So I know it sounds very strange. Maybe, yeah, right, I'm gonna make him. No, it is like that, because if you are also not focusing on him and he's not focusing on you, for instance, if we use an example of the couple that the guy is watching too much porn, he is not making that connection with his partner, so he can come very quick. But maybe if he is actually being more mindful and taking the time and making that connection, and the woman is also connecting with the partner, like Chantal said, slow it down a bit, or maybe massage it a bit more.
Take a break.
Yes, it doesn't have to go like
bam, 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 bam. No, we don't have to do bam, bam, bam all the time.
So if you take that time, I think that can also help, because the semen retention doesn't help by night. They have to really actually dive into that practice. Brian, I don't know where Brian went.
I think he went to get the cock ring to show.
But Brian can share that the semen retention doesn't take only a week or a month. It takes a couple of...
It's a lifestyle, pretty much.
Months. And really it's like to begin to change to be vegan. So it's a different lifestyle. You don't gonna get it in the first week. Still, if you get it in the first week, you have to keep it in. So it's not like, oh yeah, so this is actually the We Vibe cock ring. So why I wanted to show it, because actually the penis, you can put it on the penis, or depends on how comfortable you can feel it. You can put it behind the balls. Each ways, it will help you to hold it and make it last longer.
Yeah, it'll keep it harder. Yes.
And for the lady also, what we always says is communication. The thing is that we become so shy. We have so much traumas from kid about not talking about sex, about what is appropriate and what's not, that we left ourselves aside when it's become talking about sex and our pleasure and what we want in a relationship. And maybe for the guy, he's doing...
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and maybe for the guy, he's doing a good work, but for the girl, if he doesn't have a communication, he will not know just like if it's going well or not.
Yeah. And when we talk about for the female side, what you can do so that your partner can last longer, we talked about take a break. We talked about do a massage. A ritual is good. Don't just shove it in there and bam, bam, and done. Take your time, build it up, give him maybe a blowjob, give him a massage, take a break when you see like, okay, it's getting too intense. Let's cool down a little bit and let him focus on you, or just focus on each other. Have fun with it, and don't make him feel ashamed because he comes too quick. He can be super excited or he can be just super sensitive.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out and have that conversation with him and walk each other through it. And then definitely you can slowly build it up. A man who comes too quick doesn't necessarily see that's the only thing he can do. You can build resistance, but it takes time. And you as a woman need to have that patience.
Yep.
But it is possible.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, let's continue for the next question. Okay. Okay. ¿Cómo puedo plantearle a mi pareja un trío?
So how do I tell my partner I want a trio or a threesome? Yeah. So it goes back to communication is number one. Have you sat down and had the conversation with your partner about threesomes in general or about sexual exploration, about fantasies? If you haven't even had that conversation, it's going to be very difficult to talk about a threesome. Do you watch porn together and talk about your likes and dislikes so you get an idea? Have you talked about the jealousy portion of looking at another girl, another guy? Did you sit down and just say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, or this is my fantasy? Do you share each other's fantasies? So those are some questions you need to ask before you even go down to the topic of threesome. But the main thing is communicate. Sit down and talk. But don't start off, go walk through the door and say, honey, I want a threesome. Let's do this. Because I don't think that's going to work.
That will be perfect. Like, let's have a threesome tonight.
Let's do this. And he's waiting outside. I don't know if that'll really work, in your benefit. But I do think you start off with the small things. Talk about your fantasies. What do you like? And ask your partner what their fantasy is. Because in this case, it could be male, female. It could be a male wanting to ask his girl, or a girl wanting to ask her guy, or female, male, whatever it may be. But you have to put yourself in the other person's head. Like, okay, you know them for a while, so you know how they think. Yeah. So what do you think their reaction would be? Yeah. And then once you have that conversation, then you can go over to but okay, do you think you'd like a threesome? Oh, by the way, don't think you ask for it today and tomorrow it's going to happen. It takes time. It's just like an open relationship.
Plan it.
Don't say, hey, douchey, I want an open relationship. Let's get this show on the road. And tomorrow, no. It takes a lot of talking, communication, come back and forth. I don't like this. I do like this. I remember Brian used to say in one of our podcasts, he talked about a couple friends of his that when they would go on an escapade, they would sit and have their conversation before. And unless both sides are on the same page, it wouldn't happen. So this is the same case. Yeah. Unless the two of you are not on the same page, because maybe I want it so bad and you want to do it to please me, but you're not into it.
You can't do that.
It's not going to happen.
No. So. But I have a question, because the question was in Spanish, right? So the question was, how do I ask my partner for a threesome?
¿Cómo puedo plantearle a mi pareja un trío?
Okay. I think it's very important, the honesty part. I think that's the basics. And I think if there's jealousy coming up, I think then there are some definitely feelings of exclusion that may arise, because that's what jealousy is, feeling excluded and you want to be included. Then you have to be very clear on why you want to have a threesome. What is it that you want?
Because you have that competition, like, okay, so another person's coming in, they're going to do it better than me. You have to be on that same page, like, no, this is pure flesh, or this is pure enjoyment. What is it for? I totally agree with you.
I don't think you're going to ask your partner to have a threesome if you have jealousy issues in your relationship already.
Well, you would be surprised, huh?
Because I think
let's fix the relationship. Let's do a threesome. That'll make it work.
No, that's a huge trigger. That's gonna be a huge trigger, because I've heard many stories of couples or just ladies that got invited to join a threesome, and the girlfriend of the guy
flipped out.
Yeah, goes, sits in a corner on the bed, does not want to interact, starts to cry, and you don't want to have a bad trip. So
Communication.
You have to really communicate. And now we're just talking about, okay, bringing in a girl. It can be how it feels to bring in a guy.
Just another person.
So-
it doesn't matter what.
So actually, I have Dina's voice here in my ear saying, first thing that you have to do is hire a expert to help you, a guide. Yeah.
Guide you, yes.
I have the mini Dina here on my shoulder saying like, hire a sex coach. She will help you.
Because if you are
Yeah.
having issues having the conversation with your partner, then you need a third party, a neutral person to assist you, to guide you so that you can get to that point. If your relationship is not strong, that you can sit down and have that honest conversation, then you need a person, an expert to assist you, who can guide you to get to that point. And also realize that that point can also be that it's not going to happen. It doesn't necessarily always mean that it will happen.
Yeah.
You need to figure out together as a couple where we want to go, how we want to move forward. And then you take it from there. And then as a coach or a mentor, we can help you out if you feel uncomfortable doing it on your own. And it is definitely in a private setting, in a safe setting, and the conversations are to help to make your relationship better.
That's one good one. Oh, also another tip when I'm teaching people about doing threesomes and they want to experiment the fantasy, they can start actually with the person and his partner or her partner, and they can add another person on webcam. That's another tip that I can give. Like to start, like have someone virtually there, not into the relationship, but virtually, and then you can start like step by step, like how you feeling. Someone else being there, connecting with you, being in the moment, and then if you can bring that like a person into the relationship, into the sex relationship. So it depends of what do you want exactly. You have to be very sure, and what are the steps that you have to do. Each person, each relation is different. Maybe you can talk about your fantasy with your partner very openly, but it depends on the relationship too.
Yep. Very important. Communication, we continue repeating it. It's all about communication. And if you're not able to do it with your partner by yourself, you can always ask for an expert, a professional who can assist you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, next one. Vagina. Mito bruja. I'm confused with all the languages. So, empapeamento. Mi vagina está copi seco. Kiko você te recomendaba está smooth y suave.
Wow, there's a few things we recommend. So, if it is if it's just a chronic issue, it's important to see your doctor because you never know if there's something else going on. There are people who they are dry from themselves. Is it dryness throughout the day or is it dryness throughout when you're intimate with your partner? If it's dryness throughout when you're intimate with your partner, it can be that you don't lubricate enough, so you can use lubrication. I would suggest, which is something that works marvelous, is to do the steaming. The yoni steaming assists with the blood circulation because that mostly means that you don't get enough blood circulation to your vagina, to your vulva, to your labia, and which also creates that moistness and makes it juicy, so then you more wet. The steaming helps tremendously, not only to increase your moisture, but also to help if you have cramps, if you have pains with endometriosis, or there's a lot discomfort or discharge that's a little off balance, because not always the chemical creams, etc., are the best solution. I have to say, and I can talk about my own experience, I've done all the creams and the pills and the capsules and all that crap, and in the end you just need more because it doesn't work. And I've done the yoni steaming for now 3 years now, and I do it on a consistent basis. And my whole vulva, vagina, lips, labia, the whole thing is a lot more juicy. There's a better blood flow. They get more moist and thick. They're wet instantly. Oh, and by the way, it does indeed help your orgasms. They're so much better.
That's amazing.
So true.
That's amazing. I think if Dina was here, Dina would ask or say to hit her up for a discovery session, because
to figure out maybe there's traumas or something else
yes,
behind
or
it.
maybe they are in menopause, because that's one of the huge changes that happens with ladies.
Yep.
So one other thing that also you can use is sex butter.
Sex butter is amazing.
Sex butter is very, very.
It's organic. It's made with herbs, all kind of herbs. It's a nice soft.
Vegan.
Yes, it's vegan. It's organic. I mean, there's no chemicals whatsoever in it. It's made by women for women. You can use it when you have dryness. You can use it when you have discomfort.
Yeah.
When you have like a semi-itch, which is not a yeast infection, but it's just discomfort. It tingles a little bit because it has like a soft menthol in it. And like Dina would say, sometimes I wake up and I'm like a little off, and I put my sex butter, and throughout the day and at night, good to go.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Dina, we're missing you, by the way.
Yeah. But like to Ariana's point, indeed, it depends on what your stage is. If you're in menopause, by the way, you're not alone. Dryness is something that more women go through. Discharge is something that more women go through. Yeast infection is something that more women go through. So it's not that you're alone and like, oh my gosh, my vagina smells like a dead fish, I'm in trouble. No, it's more people that have that issue. And there's a lot of organic ways that you can assist yourself. Stop douching.
Yes.
By the way, bad idea.
Don't use soap.
No.
Don't use soap.
The best cleaning is your own water.
Yeah.
Just water, your own pH balance. Just if it helps itself.
Yeah.
The soap, the douches that they have. I'm not going to mention brands because I don't want to get in trouble. But you know, they have so much chemicals in there. The alcohol is drying you out, so you need more. It's the same with the lubricants.
Yes.
The ones that we sell are totally vegan and organic. They're water-based, silicone-based. They can't hurt you. They are good for cancer survivors, so they're also good for you.
Yes.
I think we
Okay,
answered that
next
question.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Mi pareja tambisa kubita hopi yalurs. Kimi po hasi pa cambia essay. We get all type of questions like relationship, sex,
So the question
intimacy.
is, my partner says
yes,
that
I'm too jealous.
I'm
What
too
can I do
jealous.
about
I'm
it?
very jealous or extremely jealous. What can I do to fix that or change that?
You know, wait, before we continue, you know, I really appreciate everybody giving their questions, but it's so hard to get in anonymously, like not be able to see like who did the question. We can contact the person, have more insight of what's going on, and make it a little bit hard. I hope that someday everybody stop like doing question like with no name and start like being more open about, hey, I have this issue, how you can help me, and we will be there.
So for this person who says they have a lot of jealousy issues, I would love to sit down and have a conversation, have a discovery session, and see how we could, talk, because there's a possibility that you have blockages, traumas, things that in the past that make you the way you are right now. It can have to do with your partner, and it can have absolutely nothing to do with your partner. It can be totally something that you have that's blocking you to be able to be free. When we talk about blockages or traumas, there's things that can happen in your past that just trigger anything that goes on in your present. So we need to work on that. So my suggestion would be, please reach out so we can have a conversation and we can help you out so that you can assist on this jealousy. Now, on the flip side, and this is totally off, maybe no. Women and people in general, but women have a gut feeling.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this, right? You know where I'm going with this. Your gut feeling is never wrong.
No.
Okay, so I don't want to get you in trouble with your partner, but when you feel that something is off, that's usually because something is off. Yeah. So then the question is, are you confronting the situation or are you choosing to ignore it? So there's so many ways that we can go
And blame it on yourself.
Yes. Exactly.
Because sometimes they switch the thing and they said, no, you're the jealous one, your fault. This is wrong, and then you start like questioning yourself, like, oh, I am too jealous, or I am wrong. Mm-hmm. So
So you could have a narcissistic relationship where you get that manipulation, like, no, but you're the problem. You're too am I jealous? So there's a lot of factors here,
and it can be the other way around, because you have also ladies that are narcissistic and they are obsessively possessive of their partners. So I think what we said a while ago as well, jealousy is a feeling of exclusion. And if you want to be included in every single thing that your partner does, I don't think that's healthy. So I think that part of plan a discovery session to see, maybe, because everything that you experience in a relationship that actually triggers you is a projection of your traumas that you have from your inner child. Because when you get in a relationship that they make a connection with somebody, it's how you grew up, how the nourishment that you get from your parents, because those are the first, how do you say, pillars of that foundation of love that you get to see, right? And if in that relationship you got a bad example, or it was an abusive one, or it was a great one, that all is going to have an influence on how you're going to have a relationship with your partner. And again, how your perspective was when you were growing up. So all those things lead to, why do you feel jealous? Are you really jealous? Are you just obsessing? Or is it your gut feeling is telling you something is not right?
Yep.
He's going some places. I want to just go see what he's up to. You know, it can be many
There's so
things.
many factors, yeah.
I think it's important for you, whomever asks this question, to reach out and plan a discovery session and to see.
In my case, so what I told my partner is, when you're out on the street, you're going to show me if you respect us, our relationship, or not, by your choices.
Yeah.
So I can be a jealous type, but I'm not, because I stand in my shoes as to, I choose to have you in my life. I don't need you in my life. I want you in my life. There's a difference there. So when people are obsessed with another person and they need to have that, they have to have that person, then there's something else going on. And then you need to focus on yourself first and figure out what those issues are.
I like to call it, and I think it's a very common thing in relationships here on the island. It's a condition type of love. If you do not fulfill these requirements, you are not. You do not come in to be my lover. You don't qualify, and yet love is boundless. You're not supposed to label.
Not even on the island.
No,
all over the world.
I'm here in New York, and I'm still going through the same thing.
But I think that's the way that the media has given us the idealization of what love and relationship is, and that part of being in a way that I'm going to tell you this is this and this and this, and these are my boundaries. There are healthy boundaries, because you can be in a committed relationship and you have spoken to each other on what it is that you want, and telling, for example, maybe you've had a conversation already that you're not okay with a threesome, and because you guys spoke about it, he is going to respect that fact that he doesn't want to make you feel
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't want to damage that beauty, that connection that you guys have.
Yep.
So I think it's very, you have to see if book a discovery session with us to see.
And one last thing I want to say about that question, because I think we still have maybe room for one, maybe two questions. Do realize, men and women, even if you're in a relationship, you are going to look around. Your eyes will wander.
That's nature.
It's normal. We are not made to be monogamous animals. We're made to see there's so much beauty walking on the face of earth. It's like shutting your eyes like the horses. That reality is not there.
Yeah.
So you can't demand from your partner, like you can't look at other male or female, because they're going to do it anyways. Disrespecting your partner, that's where you can draw the line. You know, yes, you will enjoy a beauty, because the beauty is there to watch. So you go to the restaurant, you look at everything on the menu, doesn't mean you're going to eat all of it that night.
You're not going to keep catcalling that one thing that you like, and you're not going to.
I would like to. I would like to eat everything on the menu.
Okay, but Brian is an anomaly. I get it. But that I wanted to say that, because do keep that in mind. And that's something we have here on island, but around the world, that they have, you're not allowed to look at other people. Why not? When I go to the gym, there's a lot of juiciness walking around. Trust me, I'm going to look at it.
That's the only reason why I go to the gym. I don't do exercise. I only watch.
You do exercise your eyes.
Yeah.
All right, next question, Brian.
Next question. Okay.
How many more do we
Call
have,
me
by the way?
Actually, this is the last one.
Oh, just in time. Good.
we just got like 2 or 3 more from last week. I was hoping to not get any more because I was like, I don't want to go to Ask the Sexinista number 3, number 4, number 5.
But we will keep them for next time for sure. If you have any questions,
Yeah.
please send them in. We will definitely put them on our list for in 4 weeks when we do Ask the Sexinistas again. I really enjoy getting your questions, ladies and gentlemen, because that means you're listening and you're willing to find out. You want to educate yourself, so more power to you. Last question. Oh my God, so excited.
Next question is, ¿cómo me importa sensual sin Cinti sensual?
Oi, Ariana, I'll give you the
Ariana,
honors.
yes.
Okay, so how can I be sensual without, I think,
Being sensual.
yeah,
Feeling.
Feeling
without
sensual.
feeling sensual. I
Oi,
think
confidence
that's
galore.
yeah, that's a tricky question because it's difficult to not be sensual and not feel sensual or separate the two, because sensuality is a connection to be mindful, to be connected with yourself in all your senses. So maybe the part of being sensual and not being sexy, sexy of how,
Or how do you, what is your definition of sexy?
yeah, because I think the part of being sexual, I think that's the part that we have to divide on with the sensuality. You can be sensual and be elegant, and you are not revealing any nudity. If
Or
that-
trashy, or no
I think-
glamour. Yes.
Yeah, there's a very classy way on doing that. It's just how you feel and you handle yourself. You make yourself sensual. It's how you are feeling. It's not what you're wearing. So I think,
And
that's
also, it's very important for you ladies, gentlemen as well, but for you ladies, to orgasm. Because when you release those oxytocin, even though you can be wearing your scrubs, not have your hair brushed, you no makeup on, you have those happy hormones all over you, so you will be sensual, you will be sexy, but in a very natural way. Sexy and doesn't necessarily mean you're all dolled up in a short skirt, and no, that's not necessary. You can be completely covered from head to toe and only show your eyes and be absolutely sensual. You can not even see the person and talk to them on the phone and be like, whoa, man, what's up with that?
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. I think it's the definition or understanding of sensual, sexual, sexy, how that all works. You can work in a male-dominated community or area where your work is and still be very sensual and sexy by not showing nothing, just standing tall on the ground.
and I think that can make you very powerful.
Yep.
Because you
Yeah.
are very
If you own your sexuality 100%.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, I see it
So
myself. Go ahead.
So honestly, it's a mindset. It's about a mindset. It's about the energy that you bring. Me coming from the kinky world, mostly people think that kinky is the latex, what you wear, the harness, the
leather.
It's actually not that. It's the energy that you bring to the moment, and is the mindset. So if you want to be sensual, you start thinking that you're sensual and you go for it, and you start exploring your body, start seeing like, hey, I feel sensual when I do this. I feel sensual when I do that. So it's about how you see yourself, you love yourself, and you bring that energy. Because anything that you wear on, I hate commercials that they said, oh, use this perfume and you will be the most sensual person in the moment, in the place, in the event. I'm like, no. Or when they sell like, oh, to look nice and sexy, use this. No, I'm sorry, you cannot. Even if you wear, even if you're naked and you don't feel sensual, you keep being not sensual. It's about yourself.
I have a story. So I had the pleasure of being part of the retreat we did in March with Entice Me, and it was so much fun. We had some ladies that came from the US, and I was part of the logistics. It was a great experience, and I was part of the photo shoot. So we did a sensual, sexy photo shoot. The last year we did it underwater, which was a great experience, but this year we did it on the beach area. Now these ladies were ladies who are regular ladies, all beautiful, different shapes and sizes, colors. I was looking at the pictures, I was taking the pictures with them, or the photographer was taking the pictures and I was talking to them. But when we talk about sensual and sexual and be sexy, these women were dressed in a normal thing, but it was just the look they gave, the little shift, the little the little twinkle they got in their eye because you would tell them you are beautiful, you're desirable, you're amazing, you're sexy, you're wanted, and you could see that I was like, make love to the camera, and you could see how they would shift, their whole energy would shift, and there was nothing different about them, just their energy shifted. So if you talk about sexual, sensual, that makes a difference. I have ladies in these pictures that are in their 60s and they've never felt more sexy in their life. These pictures are like top model. Well, there was a lady passing by saying, so for what magazine are you taking pictures? And I was like, yes, see, these ladies were just regular normal ladies, like mama, like soccer moms, and they had these most amazing Playboy. You got nothing on these ladies. These women were amazing. So that's when you talk about sensual, sexual. You be in power, stand strong, be powerful, and show your sensuality in a very, very elegant way.
So I do teach a sensual self-discovery class. So if you're interested in wanting to get to know how to be sensual, look up Sacred Sisters Aruba, and we'll have a chat.
Yeah, it definitely works. Because for you who asked that question as to how do I do it with not being it, she definitely can bring it out of you without you feeling like, oh, I'm being too much, which is not. But All right. Wow.
Okay, so we're done for today. I want to thank you to all our sponsors, Sopi Mix sponsor Qredits and SwingMasterz. I want to thank you, PillowTalk sponsors, that is Yonilove Aruba, SuccessBlizz, and Matiz. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to Ariana. Thank you to Shanti. And thank you to everyone that made so beautiful questions. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We're so excited. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We're looking forward to having all of you tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Sopi Mix Studio. PillowTalk is going to be here again. I wish you a wonderful evening. It's Wednesday night for lovers. Remember, tell that person you love them. Give them a kiss just because. Good night. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
PillowTalk, powered by SuccessBlizz. There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Yonilove, seduced from within. Matiz.